Everyone, welcome back to Jaraci Cup 16, and prepare for depression. This is between Houston and PhoenixYo. Does that count as a spoiler? I don't know, maybe. Anyway, I watched these games live. I was trying to coach Houston to victory. We'll see how well I was able to do. Rocking the Oilers colors, very nice here. But it's really between Houston and PhoenixYo to see who gets into the upper bracket. And although it wasn't my intention, me basically throwing against Houston actually gives him a big advantage here. He really only needs to win one game against PhoenixYo, and he should be set for the upper bracket. So, important games for him. We have a VFAB from PhoenixYo here. This is going to be PhoenixYo's map pick of Kharak. And I think it's a good one because it's a map that he can defend fairly well on. That sounds funny because normally we think of Kharak as being quite an aggressive map, but PhoenixYo knows that Houston is, or he thinks he knows anyway, you can see it's going to be rift mode this time, that Houston is going to go with the Blast Drone Factory, go with that early attack, and PhoenixYo's got a game plan. He's going to go LAV first, he's going to go into AEV Fab, so we'll see what ends up happening here. But in fact, Houston is going for ref mode instead. Very solid opener from him, by the way, as he pulls the one guy off the RUs and brings him over to the second base. And yeah, you can see AV Fab on the queue. How many have we got? We have this, and then we have Orb versus Shrike, and that's all for today. Really excited for that one, too. Skimmer Fab is done. You'll have to see it. We'll build one out of here. Get some vision for himself. This is actually pretty late around here. Okay, there we go. And Fleet Cap 45 will come out eventually. After this, actually, yes, I wanted to finally get back on the Receiver 2 grind set. It's been too long, man. It's been too long. Yep, there's Fleet Cap 45. And I think I mentioned this in the last game with Puppy. I think at this point the Galzian Conf player wants to make his second PC, get that started, and then just see if his opponent is attacking or not. And in this situation, I think that's probably the call. You're gonna drive out with these skims, you're gonna see AV Fab, and then you're gonna say, okay, I gotta cancel the PC and go for Railtech. But we'll see. It looks like Houston hasn't started either yet. Oh, he doesn't have the money yet, does he? But yeah, there's the vision of the carrier. You can see the AV module set up right there. And right away we have Railgun Fab. So yeah, really solid build overall. Your opponent is still on one base, of course, so the idea is that if you can stop him from really doing any damage with this push, you're kind of in the driver's seat already. But that comes down to execution, and anyone who's played just Carrier or PhoenixYo or one of these players who really likes to go for these AV pushes, they know, yeah, it's easier said than done to just not lose anything to the AV push. By the way, Schem's gonna try to deny the mining. That's very good. And 2PC is on the way now. It's actually an idle salve here. This guy should be over on the second base. But... oh yeah, I remember this. The skim micro is a little bit funny there, but it turns out okay in the end. Here come the AVs though, and Houston immediately gonna react. He pulls the base away. Does not want to get these things killed by AVs, so that's good for him. He's got the missiles powered up as well. Obviously, he could power up the mobility support, but he's probably gonna have to use these missiles in just a moment. So that feels pretty fine to have powered up. Yeah, the idle salve is hiding now, by the way. This guy is idle, so... that actually makes things worse, because now it's hard to find it. Anyway, 2 heavy rails are out on the second base. Second PC is done. I mean, this all looks pretty good. Like, this is a very nice position for Houston to be in. PhoenixYo, by the way, expanding while he attacks. That's actually very good. Very good principled gameplay right there. But what I was telling Houston here was that you really need to keep one of these guys back on the main and keep one of them on the second. That way you can push the AVs out no matter where they show up. So he is going to get that set up. And of course his carrier can move too. It's going to be very hard to take the third base with your PCs, so I think his carrier needs to be the one to go out there and muscle the AVs away. Yeah, exactly though. I mean, I was backseating to the nth degree over here, so... By the way, EMP rounds teching. Good upgrade. That's obviously going to stop AVs from being able to walk over the railguns, even if there's a little bit of positioning error, so you like to see that. Houston could use a few more railguns, honestly, I think. Yeah, he's going to start building them now. Because the other thing is, you got to realize from his position, he doesn't really have vision on what's going on out there, so it's very important for him to be ready if there's like a AAV follow-up here, like all in, if you will. You know, he builds 15 of them, just drives over his opponent. This is what PhoenixYo likes to do. Speaking of things he likes to do, he's moving up to 3 base, so Houston really has to be on top of it, getting his own 3 base set up. But this carrier is just sort of waffling around in the midfield here. The map is dark and full of AVs. By the way, railgun goes down on that side, which is unfortunate. Again, I think this wouldn't have happened if the carrier had driven out to the side. And one salvager dies on the second. But these aren't honestly horrible losses. Still not ideal, but it's not terrible. But yeah, Houston needs to be setting up his 3 base like yesterday, because now his opponent is actually ahead in that regard. The other thing he should probably try to do is counterattack, because now he's killed off a lot of his opponent's army, but he doesn't know that, right? Because again, the map is very dark, so it's a little easier said than done. But again, carrier still not moving up to the 3 base, so... Oh wait, oh, I take it all back. The PC is gonna go out there, okay. Yeah, but from Houston's perspective in this game, I mean, we were able to see that PhoenixYo had not set up his 2 base until quite a lot later, so I figured that there was no army left at this point, and I think I was actually correct about that. It's gonna be an air switch, though, from PhoenixYo, and you know he likes to go double gunship, so he's gonna get that set up now. And unless there's scouting on the carrier, he'll probably get away with this. You can see Houston fanning out the skins to try and get vision, which is good. Oh. Yeah, he saw the carrier. But just for a moment. I don't know why he pulled back there. That's actually gonna be really crucial, because Houston did not know that air was coming this game, but he saw the carrier there. Oh, that's kind of depressing. Oh no. Ouch. It's gonna be honor guard fab from Houston. But that's not gonna do him much good when the gunships come out. Also, 3rd base is still idle. Now he's opened the wreck, but I don't think he's mining yet. Yeah, he's still not. So close to greatness, man. He saw the air transition, but he didn't notice that he saw it. That's really unfortunate. Yeah, it's a good game, man. I'm excited for Homeworld 3 as well. Here come the double gunships, by the way, doing maybe the least effective thing that they could at the moment. If these gunships were instead focusing down the Sandskimmer blob and letting the LAVs jump in, it would be much, much better. But to over here on the other location, the 3rd base PC is being attacked by the LAVs. Skim is going to come to help hold this off. And now this is the most depressing thing you will see in your entire life, alright? Check this out. So like, PhoenixYo just totally throws his LAVs. He's not going to kill the PC, and then Houston just leaves. Oh. I don't know why. There's no words to explain that. That was so unfortunate when I saw that in game. Oh. Yeah, Houston agrees. That was not his finest moment. And now he's got to get his bases set back up, but I mean, now he's down a PC, so it's gonna feel really bad. Triple bomber coming out from PhoenixYo, that's not good. And yeah, I was warning him like, hey, you really can't be moving the skims out like this because your opponent is gonna come out with the gunships. So sure enough, he backs him away. He's got to, otherwise you'll just lose these for free as well. The tax stack. No, you're completely right. And PhoenixYo knows that the counterattack is a possibility, so he's launching that gunship right away. There it goes. Second PC being re-queued here. But yeah, this all feels a little bit, not doomed yet, but very, very hard to play at this point. This is actually a bomber and 2 gunships over here. What was that, JC-15, right? I don't think I remember that one. Oh, this is kind of funny, by the way. Watch what the bombers do here. He actually... Oh, that's why! Okay, he actually dropped his bombs there on the sand skimmer. So now he flies over the main base, and then is like, let's go home. Okay, I was wondering what the heck was up with that. That's too funny. By the way, after you run your salvagers away, just hit F3 and press U, right? And you'll get all these guys back to work. This is an idle salvage, which is not good. Here comes the double gunship again. And this bomber is gonna drop, but it won't do anything, so I'm not exactly sure why he did that. Almost dies as well, but not quite. But there isn't really enough anti-air here, and it isn't terribly surprising because Houston is floating, like, a lot, so... He needs to be building many, many more missile ships here, but... Well, the skimmers should be fine if they stay under the missile ships, but what we often see is people kind of not doing that. But yeah, I could see that the game was going nowhere quick here, so I told Houston, well, you just gotta counterattack and hope for the best. He does have Honor Guard anti-air coming out, which is gonna be good. These gunships are just kind of being dumb, by the way. They don't have any ammo left, so I don't know why they're circling here. They might have like 5 shots left. But yeah, that's what I'm thinking too, Bloomlin. As I'm coaching Houston here is like, well, maybe with some good micro you can make the counterattack work, but neither of us knew that there were 11 AVs chilling out over here. Like, what the crap? This is PhoenixYo right here. Yeah, so bombers show up, so the Honor Guard has to turn on the anti-air. Gunships are just kind of having their way with the skims as well. But here come the AVs. Cancel the EMP there, it's going to be a little bit rough as well. But theoretically, you might still survive if you're kiting this whole time, but there's a little bit of idle time there, so now the Honor Guard is getting caught. And now it just kind of looks like a wash. And the bombers are blowing up the railguns too. I mean, there's not really anything going for them at this point. Very unfortunate game, I would say. Very unfortunate game. I think that Houston played the opener really, really strong here, but the rest of it just sort of fell apart. Maybe more APM next time. No, I don't think that was the problem. Actually, it was probably more of a macro failing here. Needs to keep his unit production up and make sure that his salvagers are not idling. Skill issue. Yes. Houston's gonna stick in it for a little bit as I give him the post-mortem, and then we'll see him GG out here pretty soon, I reckon. Did that bomber even drop a bomb? Yeah, isn't it the Oilers or something? This goes on for longer than I thought. Okay, there we go. And we'll move into game 2 here. Game 2 is on Kartoba. Houston decided to mix things up here and switch factions. Now he's gonna go Sobon. Ah, I see, I see. I like that stuff, All-Star games. That's very fun to me. So, Saban versus Coalition. It'll be an interesting matchup. Houston's gonna go SC first here. Does not retire, which is good. Now, anytime you're playing against PhoenixYo, you gotta realize he likes to play around with turrets. He hasn't been doing it very much in the past little bit, but you've always gotta know he's got that in his wheelhouse, so... I was definitely of the opinion that keeping this base runner would be essential, because if a turret shows up, you can just drop a TJ on it, and then now it's just a 300 CU hole in the ground. He's gonna be a base runner retire though, and I think PhoenixYo gonna go for his SC first as well. Probe is up here, and it's possible to kill this thing with a base runner, but it's not always easy. So Houston will give it a try, but I believe this probe is going to escape. And SC is a little bit faster for Houston actually, although they both have 6 salvagers, so I think that's... Yeah, that's actually a bit interesting. You would think that PhoenixYo would be faster with the base runner retire, but Houston's actually on top of it here. Well, you don't want to do that yet. You want to wait until LAV Fab comes out, and then you can fire the probe. If you get vision that there's some kind of an attack coming and you don't have LAV Fab started, it's like, well, now I know that I'm dead. It doesn't really help you much. So this is the correct order of things. Now you can fire that probe out. SC is done, by the way. TJ deployed in the gap. Just kind of slows down your opponent's rotations, and the probe gets killed by the support cruiser, so that's pretty good. Probe is late now, though. I definitely agree with that. Oh, I get it, I get it. Anyway, AV Fab on the queue. They probed me. And here comes that probe. By the way, you could have instead chosen to go 8 up here. But I think that against PhoenixYo it might not be recommended because there could be an attack coming at the beginning. He's been known to do that. It's not like playing against Descaro where you can just go 8 up every time. Well, Descaro will attack sometimes too. It's not like REC, you can go 8 up every time, right? Probe sees the carrier, sees that there's no tech. And little does Houston know, LEV Fab hadn't even been teched here, so this is pretty, aggressively economic here by PhoenixYo, I would say. And actually another support cruiser has just come out. Yeah, seriously, it's mega greed. Probe's gonna check, still no tech. And it sees that there's something moving up to 3 base here as well, so... For Houston, this is a moment where you really don't want to let your opponent sit on it. You want to attack him as fast as you can. He has AV tech finished, and he'll start building them right away. LAV Fab finishes for PhoenixYo. He's probably going to get AV started in just a moment. He's building more salvagers first. Oh my! Oh no, he was opening the rack. Okay. But still, this is very, very greedy from PhoenixYo. Okay, there we go. He finally starts AV tech. But the first AV for Houston is already hitting the field, so... This is pretty good for Houston. Normally you'd say you're gonna be in trouble as the greedy player here. Maybe even going for the main was better now that I think about it, but Houston, at any rate, is gonna be pathing toward the third. Really good to rotate the carrier when you're doing this, by the way, because that travel time actually matters. The travel time that you cut out by having the carrier turned correctly. I'm not sure about 1, because your opponent will have AV production by the time you arrive, so eventually he'll push you off. But yeah, at any rate, you don't want to go where the carrier is. That's the mistake there. Because, you know, the carrier is a position where PhoenixYo has some defense, but his third is completely exposed here. And yeah, you can see this AV just kind of taking damage for free. And there's the AAV module opening up. Smoke comes out, but it's a little bit late. But now that the carrier is moving out, you might be able to attack the main, or the second here, but either way, this AV gonna start harassing the third base location. And no micro to keep the salvagers alive here for PhoenixYo. So actually they're both gonna die there, pretty easy. Base runner is even here as well, but hasn't thrown the TJ just yet. That would be really nice to see. And a bit of smoke on the carrier would go a long way. It looks like it's not going to happen, so instead we just have a situation where 2 salvagers go down for PhoenixYo. This is still not bad for Houston. But yeah, if he had sent like 2 of them straight to the third rather than pathing over the carrier and then the other 2 over here to the main, I think that it probably would have looked a lot better. But hey, you know, we'll take what we can get, right? That's 2 salvagers killed. And Houston teching railguns already, but what he really wants to do here is get up onto his third base. A little bit of a float starting. Just, you know, understandable. He's pretty busy over on the other side of the map, but he's really got to get this started. Okay, there we go. There's the SC. Needs a logistics module as well. There it is. And he can start building salvagers for his third. And Houston has armor 2 and Phoenix has armor 0, so actually he's being too passive with these AAVs as well. He wants to be out there fighting. Because this is a fight that he wins every time. Fighter and gunship finishes for PhoenixYo, so again, you want to be up there so that you can see, what your opponent's tech is going to be. There's a gunship building right now. Yeah, Houston gonna start fighting into this, and like I said, he wins this really, really decisively, right? This is not a fight that PhoenixYo has any business trying to take. There's actually an invisible AV over there right now. But you know, don't worry about that. Smoke goes down for the SC just to keep it alive. It's good. But you gotta smoke the eco. The Salvager does fall there. And yeah, I'd say that that's fine for Houston, but you gotta realize air units are out now, right? And this is, I think, the problem. Wasn't any scouting. Like, during this whole time, the probe could have been out there checking to see what the carrier tech was, and if he knows that it's gonna be air here, you can build up some defense for it. And carrier's right also. It's still 2 base against 3, so... Houston gonna start getting that set up now. But the air reveal is going to be deadly. And this, I think, is where things start kind of slipping away from him. It's good to attack, though, because you just killed the entire enemy ground army, so I think you've got to do this. These 2 AVs should just pass to the extraction zone as well, so that they can stop the artifact. Here comes the double gunship again, wasting its time by attacking salvagers. Even if Houston would, like, split the salves up a little bit here, they would take even less losses. Yeah, this is not what gunships are good for, so I don't know why PhoenixYo insists on continuing to do that. But he got 3 salves, which is actually pretty good for himself. And these 2 AVs got distracted by control clicking, probably, so they're not going to stop the base runner, which is also pretty rough. And yeah, just as Houston is getting up to 3 base, he's not anymore, because now he has to rebuild the salves on main, which is pretty annoying. But the counterattack is still good, and he's denying his opponent's 3 base for a time. You want to be careful not to all-in here, though, which, as you can see, he's going to do. You don't really win the all-in, you just want to deny your opponent's mining time for as long as possible, and even the macro odds up a little bit. Yeah, right? Like, slide over here and then find your way into the main. If you just fight where all these turrets are, obviously you're giving your opponent a big advantage there. Still, though, he's killing salvagers, so, I mean, there is something to be said for this push. Smoke on the carrier would be nice. He's gonna smoke out that turret, though. I appreciate that. So, mining time denied on 3rd, salvagers killed on 2nd. Oh yeah, and this is kind of funny. PhoenixYo is going to try to be annoying with a turret here on the third base. But as it happens, missile batteries have just come out, and apparently, like, one mortar from the missile battery kills this or something. Oh, it's going to be two, and it actually got hit by the carrier, the railgun as well. But yeah, it's kind of a funny moment there. Here come the gunships though, and the missile batteries need to be over there to defend. But they're not. And actually now it's the SC the target here. It looks like the gunships are going to kill it. I suppose because they were allowed to make 2 passes then. Yeah, the anti-air from Houston was slow. It should have been out there already. Now the carrier has to drive onto main so that it can keep that base up, which is pretty rough. Yeah, still more anti-air is needed here. And Houston's got the money, but he's not building anything, which is always going to come back to bite him. Strike Fighter's coming over to the third. And the missile batteries are not there now, right? Like, they need to be split up so that some of them are covering every location, but they're not. So, Salvager's going to start falling on the third, and... You know, at some point, these losses are not really sustainable, because Phoenix's Air Force is just going to get bigger and bigger. And yeah, it's still 2 base versus 3, right? It has been, like, the whole game at this point. Yeah, I mean, it's just a matter of time. Alright? And PhoenixYo, meanwhile, he's got his railguns out, he's teching Mag Excel. This looks like what he needs to kind of accelerate the game state. And these AVs here are wandering too, but I'm kind of yelling at him to keep these back at the base, because obviously if they're not being covered by anti-air, they die, right? So you can't really move them out like that. The anti-air spread for Houston's still not terribly great, to be honest with you, but... Because he's got one sort of waffling out to the midfield over here. This is game 2. Yeah, he needs to keep these spread out enough that they're covering the locations, but clumped together enough that they can fight, right? You maybe get 2 of them next to each other right here, 2 of them next to each other right here, 2 of them next to each other right here, and you'll be fine, but... Also, I think SCAA techs as well, which is good for him, but it's kind of a little too late. And again, it's a lot of railguns. It's a lot of railguns. Turret attempt again by PhoenixYo. He really thinks this is going to work eventually, but that one doesn't even have vision on the base, so it just doesn't matter. I don't know what he was planning on doing with this turret here. But Houston is backing away from it. No, not like this. Anyway, here come the railguns, and again, the missile batteries are sort of just... The missile batteries are sort of just standing out here in the open, so they're gonna get killed off, and then that means that the air is able to do what it likes, so... Pretty bad positioning from the missile batteries. And Phoenix just kind of marches up the board here with the railguns. It's not really like there's anything that Houston has got to stop this. And that'll really be all she wrote. I mean, yeah, the game's not technically over. Okay, now it is. But no, I'm pretty sure he just did it on his own. Yeah, you see why I said that these were going to be kind of depressing games, though. I mean, it really feels like Houston had the better of his opponent in both games, but just mid-game macro failures really cost him a lot. Wasn't scouting for the air tech, wasn't positioning his units quite right, and it really mattered. It really mattered a lot, so... PhoenixYo going to take the 2-0. And that doesn't guarantee his upper bracket spot, but it probably will get it to him. He needs to beat Puppy 2-0. Maybe actually he even advances if he goes 1-1 against Puppy, but I'm pretty sure that PhoenixYo will be the favorite in that matchup, so we'll see how that one goes when we end up casting it, but thanks for watching. We'll move on to the next one.